Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I would like to talk a little bit about the purple passion plant. I'd like to go into a little bit more detail than I have in the past. And also towards the middle of this video, I am going to take some cuttings from this plant because it's starting to get a little bit leggy. And I'm going to propagate them in soil. The scientific name for this plant is Gynura aurantiaca is the scientific name. That's Gynura aurantiaca, and I will put that somewhere along the bottom of my screen for the spelling. Okay, I did notice with this plant when I was watering it yesterday that it has a branch that is a little bit wilty. So I'm going to cut this branch, this vine off, and I'm going to propagate it in water. I did water this plant yesterday, so we are good to take cuttings from it. You always want to make sure that your plant is watered the day before so that the stem has a better chance of rooting and the leaves won't go wilty on you as quick. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this stem out of here because it's just not doing well. This one is a little bit wilty, and I'm just going to place this in water. I'm going to take off the bottom couple of leaves, and this one I'm not going to plant directly into soil. Because the leaves are already wilty, I'm going to place this in water to see if it will perk up a little bit. A little description of this plant's characteristics and care instructions. And I have pulled this information from Costa Farms. And then I will also tell you how I take care of this plant, where it is sitting, how much I water it. Purple passion plant features. The purple passion plant stands out from other houseplants because its green leaves are covered in soft purple hairs, giving the plant a purple sheen, and it's the source of the plant's other common name, velvet plant. Purple passion plant has an upright habit when it's young, but becomes more spreading and almost vine-like as it matures. This makes it fun in hanging baskets as well as trained up small trellises. The purple passion plant growing instructions. Purple passion plant grows best in medium or bright light and when the soil is kept moist but not wet. It tolerates dry soil relatively well, so if you forget to water it every now and again, you don't have to worry about it dying, but this unique houseplant looks best if given a regular supply of water. That is Costa Farms' description of the plant, and as you can see, it definitely is a beautiful plant. Darker green foliage with the purple hairs, the velvet on the tops of the leaves. The back sides are just, let me see, are the back sides? The back side is covered in the little hair-like protrusions as well. So if you can see that up close. Super, super pretty plant. Okay, so I already cut this off. We'll get that into some water, and I'll show you the leggier areas of this plant that I am going to prune back. You can see that it is definitely getting a little bit leggier and a little more bare with the foliage and through some of the vines. So I'm going to cut those ones off. I'm going to position the camera downwards so that you can see a little bit more of what I'm doing. There we go. First area that I am going to cut, the first vine that I'm going to cut is this one right here. Okay, so on this vine, I am going to cut right above a leaf or a node. So I'm going to cut right here. And here's my cutting. So for this guy, I have cut it back quite a bit. This bottom area is what I'm going to place into the soil. The next vine that I'm going to trim back, it's definitely getting a little long, is this one right here. And I'm going to trim this one back. Let me see. Right about here. Right above a leaf. And snip. And my scissors have been sterilized. I should have mentioned that. Pulling off some of these leaves, bottom leaves. And then this is what I'm going to place in the soil. There's another little cutting. Snip these leaves off. Let's see here, I think this one, I'm going to be able to get a couple of different cuttings from. I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller. So I'm gonna trim off these bottom leaves. Here, 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 and also this one as well. So there's another little small cutting. And then with this guy, trim off a couple of these on this one as well. And then there's that little cutting. You want to make sure that you expose a couple of the nodes around where the leaves are, where the leaves come out. And also be sure to cut on an angle as well when you're taking the cuttings. Okay, let's see. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to take as far as cuttings. There's this longer area up here, but it's not starting to hang down or anything. It's still looking pretty full, so I'm going to leave that one. And now we will take the cuttings and place them into some soil for soil propagation. I already have my soil prepared. It's my normal mixture of 2/3 of a potting mix with some perlite, orchid bark, and worm castings, and some mosquito bits as well. And I have moistened the soil. You want to be sure that when you place your cuttings, your Purple Passion cuttings into soil for soil propagation, you want to make sure that the soil is pretty moist. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig a little well into the soil where I'm going to place these cuttings, and where these nodes are, be sure that they are covered by the soil so that they root in, and then just kind of pat the soil down. Then I'll move on to my next cutting. Dig another little well. Grab another one of my cuttings, and we will do this one right here. Place it into the soil. Be sure that some of those nodes are covered. And the next one. There's a couple of node areas. Place this one into the soil. One more cutting. this one into the soil. Okay. So that makes for a pretty full pot. I will probably end up adding a little bit more soil into this. And I'm going to make sure that the soil is kept pretty moist, because if not, the leaves will start to wilt, and once they start to wilt, sometimes the plant doesn't revive itself once you water it. So you definitely want to make sure that you keep this plant fairly moist for about 2 weeks or so until it really takes root. Okay, now to go back into talking about this plant, where I keep my purple passion plant. I keep mine in an east-facing window, and I do have it in a terracotta pot. Some may choose not to keep theirs in a terracotta pot because the terracotta does dry out fairly quickly. I find myself watering my purple passion plant about every 3 to 4 days. I have to water this guy. You don't want to let this plant get too dry, because once it starts to wilt pretty good, sometimes it won't come back. I have in the past, I've had some vines die off because I didn't catch it in time. So you definitely want to make sure that you keep this guy fairly moist at all times. Okay, I guess that is it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like the content of my videos, please subscribe. And I will talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.